grateful to be in a space that I am not bitter, and no longer am I angry. And in fact, because there have been so many beautiful lessons and experiences and new levels of ascensions, let me say it, title changes, and there's just been so many wonderful experiences I've been having in my life. It put me in a better space to be able to say that finally, again, I can forgive him. Now, the reason why I'm saying again is because with me, I realized that the healing from a heartbreak takes or have taken longer than even I expected. I hadn't expected for it to take this long, and I found that there was non-traditional ways of me doing things that catapulted me into being more persistent, consistent, and dedicated to my healing. I said forgive again because on some real shit, I had to forgive the motherfucker in pieces. In pieces. I couldn't even forgive them all at once. However which way it fucking went though. Whether I forgave him in motherfucking pieces or, I'm just glad to be able to move past all of it. I'm grateful to be able to move forward. This holiday weekend was a milestone for me, in a sense that on my own, I began a new tradition in my household. Now, I understand that Thanksgiving is a pagan holiday. It's also a legal holiday. It's a time where most people are able to get off work. Now, my job wouldn't allow me to get off. I had to work. However, even with me having to work, I created a new tradition and said, you know what? Fuck the paganism. And not that it not that it doesn't exist, but I am changing the dynamic of Thanksgiving. And I am going to, instead of celebrating a pagan holiday, just because I was brought up that way and it had became tradition in the black household for millennials, I choose to say that I will not celebrate the paganism, but instead use this time to celebrate the ancestors that unknowingly was sacrificed for the greed and corruption of colonialism. Now, their sacrifice did not go in vain. I gave thanks to them. I know that it's nothing to like, it's not a celebratory thing. It's nothing to celebrate, It's nothing to celebrate. But just maybe, if I could put a plot twist on it in my own way, by letting those Indian ancestors know that I am sorry that that happened to them and their lineage, and that they was played and plotted against and used. You know, I hated that that's how their story ended for them and their culture at that time. However, I am grateful today that I can look back and say, just thank you for having the heart that you did and trying to instill morals and principles into fucking heathens and fucking savages, right? Because their heart was so pure, they was not aware that these motherfuckers was the oppositions. Remember, they didn't come in as opposition. They came in as friendly faces and people who wanted to get to know them and understand the culture and learn. So I appreciate that they acted out of pure heart and pure nature and pure intent. And I'm sorry that their kindness and hospitality was taken for weakness. And I take those moments and use it to say, in my family, we are going to celebrate all of our ancestors that came before us, all of them that sacrificed themselves as a whole or parts of themselves just so we could be where they at, whether those sacrifices was voluntary or involuntary. We are celebrating the living ancestors. We are celebrating the scholars, the lovers, the all that is good and just in our culture and in our household. I'm celebrating new life and being a grandmother. I am celebrating love, and I am choosing this time because even though I had to work, there was a large portion of my family who automatically had off because you know how the system is set up. So they was able to automatically get those days off, and I was fine with it. I got off work in the morning. I went home and I cooked, and I went back to work in that evening. But I was able to have a solid meal that was made out of love, sprinkled with a little bit of laughter. The main ingredient was love and purity and sincerity, and I still had a good Thanksgiving. And I'm going to implement within my household, this is how the holidays will be celebrated, because I am no longer willing to give unnecessary credit or unjust credit to undeserving motherfuckers, okay, such as the colonists. No, like, nah. So and you know, admittedly, during the holiday time, my inner child gets excited because I always have remembered the feeling of excitement from a little girl, because I knew that the holidays brought family together. The cooking, the gift giving, you know, the reconciliation, you know, the bonding have always came around holiday time. And I don't want to put the fire of that excitement out in the little girl within me. So what I decided to do was change the tradition and the meaning of the holiday, because I am not going to ever again conform my personal life to society standards. I am not. And so with the Christmas holiday coming and my mom's birthday coming up, God rest her spirit, around the time of Christmas, that is another paganistic holiday that I will change the dynamic of in my household. Kwanzaa is a great alternative. I'm not taking anything away from Kwanzaa. But you know, just sometimes I just get a little tired of people, outer people that's not in my circle, and people that's not in my family. I get a little tired of just how everyone has some type of outside of us has some type of input on how we should celebrate anything that we're celebrating, why it should or why it shouldn't be, you know. And I understand that there's levels to the shit, I understand it, but I get tired of outsiders trying to be so, you know, opinionated and so correct and so even fact giving in a, what's the word I'm looking for, in a way to be convincing for you to again follow some type of outline on how you should operate morally, or how you should operate in your household, you know, when it comes to holiday times. I'm not ever gonna disrespect Kwanzaa. It's not about disrespecting our cultural norms. It's about me finding another way to be able to implement tradition into my family, but a tradition that is tailored to my personal family dynamic. So, moving forward, but just backpedaling a little bit on what I was saying about forgiving him, I am finally in a space where I have completely forgave him. And I've learned how to separate some days when I'm still angry of certain things that he have done or things that he have said. It's okay to have that, and it doesn't mean that I don't forgive him, and it doesn't mean that I'm not you know, that I am triggered. You know, what it means to me is that sometimes you need to remember the pain of those things so that it won't turn into a cycle. Sometimes you need to remember how you felt and the pain in that moment so that you can teach the next generation better, so that you can move forward with breaking generational cycles and curses, and so that you can also keep healing, because healing is a lifelong process. When you think about it, there's so many experiences we've had up to date that caused us trauma. Experiences that have been 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 years ago. Things that need closure or need to be dealt with that we have buried but somehow resurfaced, or things that we have thought that we've healed from in our silence, things that we thought that we have dealt with but we actually haven't. So if these are experiences that we've had ever since those times and those many years, those many decades, those many millennials ago, it's going to take an equal amount of time, if not longer, to heal those things. So when you begin on your healing journey, you must first understand that it is a lifelong process. But you also must understand that you are worth every bit of that motherfucking healing and overcoming and elevating and be able to get closure and move past and move forward, because you owe yourself the best motherfucking life after dealing with whatever the fuck you had to deal with all those motherfucking years ago, all that motherfucking time ago. Still up to date. It still has some type of effect on you, on your life, or still has some type of effect on how you do things in life. You deserve to live your best motherfucking life. And in order to live your best and be your best for you, you have to heal. And because it is a lifelong process, there's dedication that you are giving to yourself, which I want to commend you on, because we have always, for the longest time, dedicated ourselves to a whole lot of shit outside of ourselves. You've been applying pressure. You've been applying pressure. You are pressure. You've been giving so much motherfucking pressure, applying so much motherfucking pressure that, baby, that became your middle name. It's like second nature. You pressure. You pressure. But how about you give yourself some grace? How about that? Give yourself some grace. Be patient and focus on getting better and doing better, because you absolutely can do it. It will not be easy some days, but it will be okay. As long as you're not hurting anyone outside of yourself because of your past traumas, as long as you're not putting people into situations that are a reflection of your past trauma, you will get through it. You will be okay. You definitely will be okay. I don't want to keep you long. I just wanted to get to, here to tell you guys about some of the changes that I have decided to make and implement in my life, as far as healing goes. I'm so grateful I'm not bitter. I never wanted to be bitter. Bitter is a very heavy, low vibing energy. It costs too much. It costs too much. It weighs too much. So that's something that I did not want to carry. I'm in a elevated state of mind, and I am so very pleased and grateful where I am now. I have more healing to do, which is why this channel ain't gonna stop. Because although I have healed from heartbreak, or from my last heartbreak and my last situation, I still got more healing to do. I still need to figure out what was it that had me so locked in. Because I never want to revisit a space where I'm so locked into someone and none of that energy is being reciprocated. I no longer ever want to be in a space where I'm so locked in that I can't even see that a motherfucker that I'm locked in with ain't locked in with me. I don't want to be in that space again. I don't want to be in a space where my situation romantically is one-sided and I'm the one that's putting in the bulk of the work to keep the relationship afloat. I don't ever want to be in that space again. And so my new tradition on the holidays was topped off with the baby shower for my grandchild. That catapulted me into an unbelievably loving space. And I had to remember, that I was so much in my head. I was so much in my feelings. I was so much in grind mode. I was so much in trying to make sure that my family worked that I had forgotten all about me. And I had forgotten about the importance of the work that I put in. And I didn't intentionally forget it. I was just so in my head and focused on the goal. And so at the baby shower, I was reminded of the blessing that I have been to other people, not knowing, because my thought process and even my goals was one-dimensional. I was only thinking one way. My daughter-in-law said at the baby shower that she could not have picked a better mate to go through this process with. He is very loving, he is very supportive, and it has made them grow closer. I also got to see the way my son interacted with her family and with her in an intimate setting, with his friends, with his side of the family. And to see him work the dynamics of that room with confidence, with love, it was just a reminder to me. I'm trying not to get choked up. How great of a single parent I was, and how wonderful job that I have done. And I am grateful to the Creator and to the universe for being the godparents and assisting me and helping me raise my boys. It was just a phenomenal night. I found myself to be emotional at the end of the night. I shed a few tears, but it was tears of joy. It was tears of relief. It was tears of sincere glee and happiness and relief to know that any pain that I ultimately did suffer or go through did not go in vain. And that maybe my romantic relationship wasn't supposed to work out with them, because I also discovered, that is not, he's not my person. He's not for me. He's not my person. And I never wanted for my children to suffer any repercussions, any backlash, or any type of karma from the decision that I have made. And just maybe that's why I can finally understand that he's not my person, because my boys do not need to become a victim of his toxicity, because the way karma is set up, they don't need to be a part of his karma. You know, they are in good headspaces. Our bond has gotten tighter than it was before, because you know, I can be vulnerable with them when it comes to him, and understand how they feel about it, their perspective on it. I don't have to try to, you know, I don't have to talk negatively about him. I don't talk negatively about him. I do, however, check in with my boys to see how they feel and see if they're okay, you know, mentally and emotionally, and pray that they are being honest with me so that this shit won't come back to bite them in any type of negative way. You know, not having their dad around, and then whenever he was around, he was a piece of shit, you know, because that could be traumatizing to young men. So, you know, I do check in with them, and, you know, just checking in has us being tighter, a bond, you know, like never before. And at the end of the night, I was able to close the whole fucking session out. I shed my motherfucking tears. I was so fucking happy. I was so motherfucking relieved. I said, oh my goodness, my boys are so filled with love and pride and respect, and when I say pride, I'm talking about self-pride, because it's an honor to be and to earn the title of man of the house. You know, I'm not talking about pride as an ego. They not prideful. They don't operate out of ego. They're honorable men raised in a household by a single mother. I had my family be able to assist me with raising them. They have positive male role models within my side of the family that they have bonded with over the years. And to see all of what we've instilled, what we've worked on, what we wanted for them, to see it come into fruition is absolutely fucking breathtaking. And I was just so proud. I was just so proud and happy. And so I am winding down from a weekend filled with highs, you know, no lows. But I realized that what goes up must come down. So if I look a little tired in the eyes and shit, that's why, you know, I'm coming down off of the high. You know, the natural high of being able to be a living witness to the beauty of how love can evolve, and how love can be miraculous. How love is a superpower, you know. And so I'm going to get ready and go. I am not going to keep you guys long. I wish you continue healing. I'm looking forward to checking in with you guys at a later date. As always, I wish you continue healing. Keep going. Don't motherfucking stop. And the famous words of Steve Harvey, you know, and, you know, people, you know, I don't like Steve Harvey. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Sometimes when the message come through, you cannot focus on who's delivering the message, because the message is for you, and that's all you need to focus on, is the message in itself. Also, this is a sidebar. A lot of people hold these fucking celebrities to high esteem. It is just unbelievable how you think that he's supposed to be the type of person that just don't make mistakes. He's fucking human. We're all fucking human trying to find our way on this fucking plane of this fucking earth. We're all fucking human. Nothing is perfect except for the God and the universe in which we serve. But as for humans, we will always fucking make mistakes. We will always fuck up. Always. So those mistakes are just as important as your wins, because there's lessons in all of it. So one of the things that Steve Harvey said that I absolutely appreciate, and it came through as a message when I needed it, and I want to pass it on. He said, if you going through hell, why would you stop there? Keep going. Because hell wasn't your destination. You started out on your journey to get to a certain place. And on your way to that place, if you go through hell, why would you stop? Keep going. And so that is comparable to healing. Healing ain't motherfucking pretty at all. But it is what it is. The soldier in you, the determination in you, the spirit in you. Keep fucking going. Don't stop. Peace and blessings to y'all. I wish y'all a wonderful weekend, week, and month, and the rest of this year. And I'll definitely be checking back in with you guys. ASAP Rocky. Peace.